Our final speaker has a remarkable story of overcoming challenges. After dropping out of grade 9, he threw himself into business. He eventually started his own company, where 100 people on 4 continents work. He was diagnosed with cancer, and he met the challenge with equal creativity and is now cancer-free. Along the way, he found time to summit Mount Everest, raising money for youth at risk. He leads one of the most dynamic companies in Vancouver. He's always looking for staff, if you ever talk to him. His company is ZAG Global. Please welcome Steve Curtis.
I want to start by asking a question. How much do you love your life? On a scale of 1 to 10, what's your number? How much do you love your life? I want to share with you what my number was. I was a 4. Actually, I was probably more a 2, pretending to be an 8. I was 24. I'd built a company from nothing. I had the car, the house. I was making more money than I dreamed of, but I was living an illusion. I was desperately unhappy. I was miserable. I used sleeping pills. I was an alcoholic. And I was in constant anxiety and pain. The signs that something bigger was going on started with a cold that lasted a little bit too long. And then came headaches that wouldn't go away. And then came the constant stomach pain and the exhaustion. And then just for fun, I got full body stress itches. Like most people who think they're invincible, I ignored all of it until I could ignore it no longer. I was 25 and I was diagnosed with a stage 4 terminal cancer. Not just any cancer, but a kind with an unpronounceable name. An orphan disease, as they called it, for which the experts at Harvard and Yale and Stanford all agreed had no cure or treatment. In a few short years, I would be dead. I could still remember what it was like in the doctor's office. I just couldn't compute what he was saying. It took me about a month to tell my mother. How do you tell your mother that her only child is going to die soon? All the sacrifice that she had made to raise me was a waste. I was a waste. Yet somewhere down deep inside, I knew why this had come. I'd pushed too far, too close to the edge, and I'd fallen off. Maybe some of you know what that was like too, or is like. Always living life on fast forward, never being truly present or grateful. I didn't know how to listen to my heart, and I was too consumed by my ego. But now I had a choice: change or die. So, I put work on pause, took up daily yoga and meditation, found new friends, became a vegan, and I hired an MD. Together we buried ourselves in research and traveled to the edge of the earth, seeking out the experts in science and medicine. I hired a team of coaches that helped me rip off the shell and get to the heart of what was causing my dis-ease. I even risked my freedom to find and eat some magical mushrooms, which gave me profound insight. And a whole bunch of interesting, wild, and crazy colors. I dedicated my life to serving others, and I prayed. I prayed a lot. Because what else do you do when you have no other options? Slowly, the answers started to come. As I listened to my heart, it spoke. And as I braved its path, my 2 turned into a 6. My disease stopped progressing. As I learned to live an 8 to a 10 every day, all traces of my diagnosis disappeared, leaving me with a perspective that few in this world have. Today at 32, I stand here before you as a walking medical miracle, long past my expiry date, and a very different person. So what did I learn? If you trust your heart and you're willing to push through the fear, truly anything is possible. Anything. And our health is a reflection of our mind. Every external challenge is an internal opportunity. So therefore, how much we value our life really matters. And I ask you again, what's your number? On a scale of 1 to 10, how much do you love your life? Are you a 1 looking for the next ledge to jump off of? Or a 10 savoring every single moment with presence, gratitude, and joy? Even that guy behind you that keeps honking and waving his hands and can't quite figure out what to do with it, in that moment, how do you show up? So the number for each of you, not to share with anybody later, just for you, say it in your mind now. Where you are on the scale matters, but what matters more is what are you going to do about it? Living a 10 out of 10 is a real possibility for everyone here, including you. It's about how we show up with presence and gratitude in every moment. Easier said than done. But the good news is you have a coach built right in, your heart. And if you listen really closely and you wait for it, it speaks. And it always guides you in the direction of your dreams. Follow it, and everything you hope for comes true. Yet along the way, you meet the ego, whose purpose is to hold you back in fear. And like the recurring dark of night, fear doesn't go away, but you can change your relationship with it. Where fear pushes most people away, I say move towards it. Chase it, embrace it, love it, for fear is an illusion. Like a rose that emerges from the thorns, resolve to let your heart rise in your life. For fear is the only thing that stands between you and everything you yearn for. Looking back, it's easy to see that illness is a gift. Illness is a calling by the Spirit to a higher way of being. And if we're unwilling to listen, it finds a way to get our attention. 1 in 2 people here will die of cancer or a stress-related illness. Many of us before our time, many of us unnecessarily. So closing tonight is simple. What is it that you've always wanted to do? What does your heart desire? How do you want to have mattered when you're gone? To these answers, I say, do not settle. Do not settle for an average life. Do not settle for living anything less than your biggest dream. Do not settle for regret or for remorse or for fear. Do not wait for a diagnosis like I had, but live your best life on your terms because you deserve it, and live it now.